Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Political Zoo. I am Ganny, your host. Welcome to our Super Bowl Sunday edition. Although my favorite team didn't make it this year, I still like to celebrate the great American pastime of football. What a week we've had between the Freedom Convoy, between Biden and Putin tensions. We're bound to get some great content tonight going out on Omegle and seeing what people have. Before I start anything, I just want to say, Freedom Convoy, you guys have my absolute respect. Love and support those people. There's plenty of places you can go online to donate and give money to the truckers who are currently holding Canada down until mask mandates and vaccine mandates are done away with. If that's a cause that really resonates with you, I highly recommend looking into websites that actually give them the money instead of GoFundMe, instead of all these other sites that say like, oh yeah, we'll give it to you, and then controversial topic, we gotta get rid of it. If you guys really want to support those guys, which I definitely recommend you do, check online and see if you can find any sources that directly help these truckers. Now tonight, pretty same thing, pretty ordinary. We are going to swap over to the Omegle cam and we are going to head out. We have a bunch of new tags here. We got Freedom Convoy and the Ukraine added. So hopefully we can get some people that have some opinions on what's going on over here. So we agree to these terms, don't we, chat? And away we go. Hey, how's it going, my man?
How you doing?
Good, man. I like your hat.
Oh, Hey, my roommate would like your sweatshirt.
Thank you. That's right. That's right. Damn right. Up here in New England. Hey, just want to let you guys know before we start talking, I am currently live streaming. So if you're not comfortable with being live, just feel free to take off. Okay.
What are we talking about?
Politics. I do a weekly political podcast where I go out on Omegle and talk to people about political stuff. So we met on that tag, and that's what I'm looking for.
Is my face shown?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, my ears. Hey, how's it going?
Am I live?
Yeah, she looks underage. No, thank you. Hey, what's going on, my man?
The Rams.
Huh? Oh, Rams. That's right. It's the Super Bowl this weekend. I don't think he had any political things to say. Hey, how you doing?
Why are you so official?
Because I am currently live streaming a podcast right now.
For real?
Yes.
What is your podcast
My
called?
podcast is called The Political Zoo. I can type it out right here. Thank you for. I assume you're cool with being on.
Sure.
Sweet. Thank you very much. So my podcast is called The Political Zoo. I'm currently streaming to a bunch of different platforms. Hey, what's up, Johan 8? Thanks for coming by again. Yeah, their cowboy hat was sick. What's up, Mr. Doc? How you doing? Welcome to the stream tonight. Yeah, I'm your host, Ganny, and tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about, I just go out on Omegle and we talk about politics, any, world issues and that kind of stuff. Just get random people, random opinions, and then I act like a shit for brains and always give a conflicting opinion, and then we have a nice discourse about it. Hey, what's going on, Garlic Goblin? Good to see you again, man.
Wait, can I know your actual political opinions?
Yeah.
So are they left-leaning or right-leaning or what?
So I would consider myself as someone who's center-right. There's a lot of opinions that I more lean toward conservative opinions. I base a lot of my political opinion on my faith as being a Christian, but there are valid points over on the left. I agree with the left with climate change. I agree with the left on making sure the rich pay their fair share and making sure that we don't live in a corporate stomped world. But I'm also on the right side of making sure we don't live in a government stomped world. And I look into research, and I'm very pro 2A and that kind of thing. So that's usually where
2A is alcohol anonymous.
No, it's the Second Amendment.
Oh yeah, so that's gun.
Correct. Yes, right to bear arms. That's right.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that too, I think. So
nice.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, that's actually what I ask my guests. I usually go up and say, hey, guests, what's a big issue that got you burning for something, because we are on the politics tag. So if you got something you really just want to talk about, something you want to vibe about, something you want to argue about, you bring it right my way and I'll make a conversation about it.
Yeah, I think we should talk about opinions on like bringing race theory into schools,
Critical
because
race
it's
theory.
something I'm really
Ooh,
passionate about.
get me canceled. Let's go. That'd be cool. So what about
Yeah.
critical race theory? What's your opinion on it?
Okay, so for me, I live in like, obviously I'm not gonna disclose where I live, but I live in an extremely small town in the South, in the very like uneducated South. And I'm not trying to like bash anybody, but it's just like, I mean, there's like a lot of manual labor, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't really focus their lives on school.
Right,
So
right.
it ends up a lot of them being ignorant on a lot of things. And I think that we should teach them critical race theory because, like, I don't know where you're from, but it seems like a lot of people have like a general understanding of like different races and different cultures. But when you live in a place that like doesn't have that, then like sorry.
Now, before you go into that, can you explain what you mean by critical race theory? Like, put it into your terms. Like, if you were supreme dictator of America and you could put critical race theory into all education, how would you do it? What is the end goal that you want? Like, describe what you're sticking up for.
I want people to be able to understand better the struggles that minorities have been through, because I feel like when they're taught in schools, they're taught so vaguely that it doesn't really like penetrate beyond the surface. So they don't really have any sympathy. And because of that, I feel that they can be a lot more, they can say a lot more just like horrible things than they should be able to, because they don't really truly understand. And I understand like a lot of like, especially like teenagers, they're super like unsympathetic and like borderline psychotic. But I feel that if they could truly understand what actually happens in history and the things that they like to make fun of and stuff, I think that they would it wouldn't be something they did as much, like with especially like saying the N-word and stuff.
I get you. I get you. Dan, welcome by the stream, man. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. So, not gonna lie, my stream is my chat at least is a little bit anti your point of critical race theory.
Yeah, I
So,
think so.
yeah, so that's because I always go opposite the opinion of my guests. So, the thing about critical race theory is now, in my opinion, now I do come from a very well educated state. I'm from New England, hence why I'm a Patriots fan, and we have really good education up here.
Wait,
I never taken a class that would be considered like critical race theory, but I would more say like we've seen plenty of documentaries on the great leader of Martin Luther King. I learned about W.E.B. Du Bois in college. I learned about the protests, like the peaceful protests orchestrated by Martin Luther King. And more of like I took a contemporary issues class in my senior year of high school, and that was more about like geared toward what's going on like now and why things are like this and the whole drug epidemic and how it hits people and whatever. um I feel like that education should be what's really pushed if we want to get racial cohesion in our country. I feel like critical race theory. Now, I'll understand a lot of critical race theory because I didn't grow up with it, and that's not something that I'm really like well versed in because I don't really support it that well. To me, when I hear critical race theory, I hear that my kids, who, judging by my complexion, are probably going to be white, are going to be going to public school and then being told how much of an awful person that they are and their ancestors were just for being born the way they are. And that's why a lot of people are against that. So if you were to like go on a podium and fully debate and protect critical race theory, what would you say to I don't want my kids going to school and being told that they're bad people just because they're white?
yeah, what you said about like that you're not really well versed in it, that's what I hear from a lot of people. And I'm only half black, but my father is the white one and he wasn't like in my life too much, so my mom was. and I grew up around a lot of Black people who were very well educated and spoke a lot about and advocated for a lot of things revolving around like race and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when you actually like read the books like Angela Davis and things like that, I think that you find that they're not actually like dissing white people. I think that it's more about accepting the fact that my ancestors did this, because in that I like everyone participates in racism because it's so ingrained in our society. Like everyone, it doesn't matter the color of your skin, everyone has biases. And I think that if we teach that to our children and if we teach that to everyone, then it can be it can't be dissolved completely, but I think it can be eliminated a lot more, which could be a very good thing for like society as a whole. And I don't think that a lot of racist theory targets white people as much as some like to think it does. I think that it more so helps us as like a community and as a society understand where our biases are coming from and why the world works as it does, like racially, if you get what I mean.
Well, to that, and like, I run the risk sounding like a piece of shit for saying it, but I'm just giving you responses. Have you ever heard the phrase that stereotypes exist for a reason? Maybe people
Yeah.
have biases because of experiences that they've encountered and been around multiple people of that either particular race or particular religion or particular like tax bracket who like all have similar traits or all eventually do something that fits the stereotype of someone who's around, to where it's like, hey, maybe, it's something to look out for. You know what I mean? Like, we were all around in the internet in 2017. I'm sure you've heard the line from FBI crime statistics where everyone's like, oh, 15%, 50, 13%, 50%.
Yeah.
So with like scientific data being there to say that, like, actually, no, because that's not what I'm saying. But I'm not saying that like we should think less of other people because of their race. I don't think that. The whole ancestors thing does bug me though, because that kind of like border, at least to me, that would have to be like, you have to apologize for people you've never met or never have ever interacted with. You had no control over what they did or what they could have done. If we
Wait,
want,
can I
like,
say something real quick? Just real
sure,
quick. I don't think that you have to apologize. I think it's more about acceptance and not defending them and not
acceptance of
trying to
what?
celebrate the bad things that they did. You know what
What's
I
the
mean?
acceptance? What do you mean acceptance of? Like, acceptance
Like
of what?
accepting that our society is like inherently racist and that my ancestors did these things and that my grandparents were alive and people I know were alive when these very horrible things happened to Black people and brown people, and that I shouldn't be apologizing for it and I should recognize that. I don't think you should be apologizing, but I think it's important to recognize it, you know?
Well, I think we've all read a book. We all went to school. I recognize that slavery
Yeah.
happened and that it was awful. What more is there to do about it?
Well, okay, so from my perspective, you said you're from like New England. I'm
Mhm.
from a majority white school, like the
I am as well.
like
White suburb town.
yeah, but like they're legitimately all white. There's like four people of color in my grade of like 120.
It was
So,
about that much when I went to high school too.
are you serious?
Yeah, we're a small suburban white town in southern Massachusetts. Like, not really a big, like, we don't have a giant diverse population.
There was only four. All right. Well, you also live in a place that's like a lot more. You said you were a place from a lot more educated, and it was like suburban and stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's suburban. We have like, we have our main street with all of our stuff on it, and then we got our like grid of houses, and like we in Massachusetts does have like really good education, considered the best in the country. So not trying to brag or anything, but like
Yeah.
New England generally has better education than the rest of the country.
Yeah. Well, I think that for a majority of people, they might go to like a majority white school, but it's only like there's still black people and there's still brown people. Like it's not, there's such a minority that like out of 120, there more so be like 40 or 50 black and brown people as a whole. But I think when we like, I'm talking about educating, this more so would help people who live in places with not a lot of black and brown people. I'm sorry, my cat just came up here.
It's okay.
Because they don't get the chance to be educated by their black and brown peers. And I also think it will
Chat
help.
behave. Sorry, someone in my chat said something really funny. I'm just like, behave chat.
Okay.
Sorry, keep going.
I also think that it would help the black and brown people that live in these places, because you get to realize that a lot of them are like half white and stuff, and a lot of them are like from broken homes and stuff. So you tend to realize like they're sort of, at least half the time, they're stripped away from all of their identity as like a black person or a brown person, and they're not really like educated on their history. So they tend to, and I don't know how else to put this, but like be racist to themselves. Like they just say the most absurd things about their race, and like defending these people that, like, it's just really bad. I don't really know how to like vocalize it.
You sound like you
because-
have a really specific example and you're just trying to generalize it. Do you have like a specific incident you want to tell us, like somebody like in the mainstream or somebody at home that like did something like it sounds like you're like trying to stick up for a very specific person in a very specific scenario.
No, I don't think I'm trying to do that. I mean, it might sound like it, and I think that I have like a few specific examples, but I've been to a lot of schools in my life, and they've all just been like super small schools, and I think that almost
Mhm.
schools with a small population of minorities, and I think that everyone, I've like sort of witnessed the same thing about how they treat their identity as as a racial minority, you know?
Okay, and what identity like would that be?
Well, I've seen many. I think the most is like Hispanic, like, and black, because that's really the only ones I see.
Mhm.
I mean, I know a few brown people, but not really. Like, but mostly black, because there's mostly black people.
But like
I think.
what about the inherent identity of being a minority is needing to be celebrated? Because just to give you an example, so I live in a very Portuguese community, right? Like we have like
Yeah.
a really high concentration of Portuguese. I am of French descent. So I'm one of the few people that doesn't have a vavu or a vava. And there's a lot of like culture, there's a lot of like Portuguese words that are thrown around. There's a lot of like restaurants and festivals and like a bunch of other stuff that like I don't know about and don't participate in as much because it's not like my heritage. I'm not exactly really comfortable to it. Now I'm proud to be from French heritage. I have a tattoo that outlines my French heritage. So I'm
But
like
what yeah.
I'm trying to like use that experience to try to like relate and rack my brain around
But like the difference
minority
is like,
status, you know?
are you putting yourself down like because you're white in this majority Portuguese area? Are you saying hateful things about yourself? Like actually like what the
I think
fuck
that's
things
more of
about
like
yourself
that's
because
like a
you're white?
self-confidence issue, not so much like a societal issue. Like I had depression for a really long time and I was like shitting on myself all the time for like dumb shit that didn't matter. But like that
Well,
just
yeah, I think it can
you
be
know what I mean?
like,
Like I like if someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Frenchie," I wouldn't like that wouldn't keep me up at night. That would just make me go like, "Yeah, damn right, I'm French. Got a fucking problem." You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be something I'm so like torn up about. Like I think that's more like I mean, and it sucks, but you're always gonna have people pick on you for something you can't control. And I think
no,
beating
that's
yourself
not what
up
I'm
for it
this is not
always
what I'm
comes down
talking
to like
about. I
you
mean
as a
like,
person.
well, you're saying like, yeah, damn right, I'm French. Like it, yeah, I will say it's a self confidence issue, but I think since it's related to your race, I think it will be approached in a way that's like, it would be approached in a way that's like it would be approached in a different way, instead of like if you were like insecure because you like thought you were ugly or you're fat or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know I'm fat, but it's motivating me to
Yeah.
get up and go to the gym and make a change. And for
But
the
you
parts of
can't
my body
change
that
that you're
you can't change
like
that you're ugly. Is that
black.
what you're gonna say?
No, I'm not saying like
Damn.
you specifically. Like
Well, it's
I'm
not
just
so much
making a
like,
general thing. Like
but it
being
wouldn't be something
insecure
you'd
of
want
your
to
race is
change.
different than being insecure of like your body or your
That would be
face.
something that you would have to have as it'd be like a self thing. That would be like confidence of the self, as being
Yeah.
like, no, fuck what everyone else says. I'm proud to be what I am, and that's like, I mean, everyone should do that.
Yeah. But how will they learn that if their whole entire life they're surrounded by white people? And I know that a lot of it is supposed to be like jokes or whatever, but like at the same time, oh my god, it's not really.
Mhm. So like, I mean, it is tough to be around a crowd that doesn't like you, and I can tell that from experience. It's really tough to be like the laughing stock of every joke. Um, I don't think that if like critical race theory were to go through, I don't think that in the long run it would help relations between like the races, kind of a thing. I think instead of like having it be critical race theory, like it should be some kind of like, it should just be integrated into the regular school curricula. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
and
that's
you
what I'm
you wouldn't like
saying.
be you wouldn't be like looking at black creators just for the pure thought of that, oh, they're black. It would be something like this black creator was a writer out of slavery and really told us how it did, or this was a writer who like made the first black business in the country, and like this is important. Like it wouldn't be something to be like, hey, look at how different. Oh, and the left on that. Okay. What's going on,
My
man?
guy's on a podcast.
That is correct. I am on a podcast and streaming right now. How's it going?
How many people are watching?
I currently have 5 people watching right now, according to my
That's cool.
analytics. It's jumping up and down though, so I'm having a good time.
That's cool. Some
What are
girl
you up
said
to,
she
my
wanted
man?
to have a threesome with me.
Oh, nice, fun,
Yeah.
fun.
I wasn't into it.
I get you. I get you. Hey, so all right then. No more threesome talk for us.
But if you can come up with a stronger, more
I have no idea what's going on there. Do I want to find out? Hey, it's Cowboy Man.
Oh, I didn't mean to skip last time.
No worries, bro. Hey, someone in my chat said they liked your hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Tell whoever it
Johan
was
Eights
that.
said nice hat.
Thank you, bro.
So we're big chilling. We're big chilling. What's going on?
You got 3 college roommates in one dorm together tonight, chilling on a Saturday.
Sweet, sweet. I'm in my recording studio doing my podcast on a Saturday night.
That's sick.
Sick, man, sick. So I just got done talking to someone about politics. She was talking about critical race theory and how that should be in schools. What is something that you're super passionate about that we can talk about for a little while?
Can I ask all 3 of them something we're passionate about? I don't
Yeah,
have to
go
show
for
them.
it, man. Let's have a
You have anything
powwow.
you have anything passionate you want to talk about, Sam?
Me specifically?
Can we talk about mask mandates?
Okay, we could do a mask.
Yep, totally. Especially with what's
Mask
going on in Canada right now. Absolutely.
All right. Well, what we found out a few minutes ago, Sweden just declared the pandemic over there. Pretty sure. Am I right on that?
I'll search it up.
My friend's gonna search it up just to make sure I'm not
Sweet,
giving
sweet.
people false information.
Yeehaw, Garlic Goblin. That's what someone in my chat just said. His name's
Oh, yeah?
Garlic Goblin. He just give a nice yeehaw. What's happening,
yeah.
my man?
Do you find out?
What are we doing? Is it
You find
Sweden?
on
Is it over?
TikTok.
Oh, yeah, it is.
The most
wait.
reliable news information. TikTok. Hey, I get most of my news from iFunny.
My roommate found it.
Hold on. So Sweden ends. Okay, so Sweden declares pandemic to be over.
By who?
Uh,
The Rio Times.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's trustworthy, but the Rio Times claims that Sweden has declared the
Mhm.
pandemic over.
So they did stop COVID testing, and all pandemic restrictions were lifted. This is from the Los Angeles Times.
Oh, from the LA Times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's more reputable. And
So it is confirmed that we are getting that Sweden at least is letting go of that.
Yeah.
right. I mean, I kind of want to see their COVID numbers though.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
I think
pog.
that's a good step.
It is very much a good step.
Yeah.
I know that all the countries in the EU one by one have saying that March 1st ends the mask mandates for schools.
Oh, really?
Yes, I know
Okay.
France is ending it March 1st, Germany and the UK, and they're just
Mhm.
waiting on other countries to follow. Okay. Now, you said you're in college. Are you vaccinated by chance?
Yeah, we are required to be vaccinated to be on campus, and I am fine with getting a vaccine. I
Okay,
think it's a
cool.
good thing. I think everyone should get vaccinated. We're born, we get vaccinated right away, so I don't see the issue with getting a simple shot.
All right, all right. Are you a proponent of the mandate? If someone doesn't want it, should they face some kind of penalty, or should they like not be allowed to go to certain places in public for a certain amount of time?
I feel like situations vary from place to place
Mhm.
because if you go to like a restaurant or something, and you don't have to show proof of vaccination, you could never know if you're sitting next to someone that, well, if now we're speaking, may not have a booster or may only have one shot or not.
Mhm.
I don't really think people are legally required to, not I wouldn't say legally, but publicly required to share their medical history because I might have some medical diagnosis that I might not feel comfortable sharing, or you might have some that you don't feel quite comfortable with sharing with people. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah. But if you're vaccinated and you want to share that, go for it. I'm all for that.
Yeah. No, I totally I can hear where you're coming from. I feel like that's pretty much the standard opinion that's going across right now is people are cool with getting the shot, but they don't want to mandate it on others that don't want to.
Exactly. If I'm gonna be a little confidential here, but we just had a buddy who got kind of removed because he wasn't vaccinated, and I had no idea he wasn't
Okay.
vaccinated. He never really spoke of it. But I'm still friends with the kid. I think he's a good kid, but he has his own, choices. If he wants to not get vaccinated,
Yeah.
that's his personal choice.
Yeah, because I'm currently unvaccinated. I haven't gotten the COVID vaccine. Now I had all the
Okay.
vaccines. Like I was born. I got shot with everything.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-vax. I'm not someone that's saying like
I
I'm
feel
not
you.
vaccinating my kids and
I don't get
vaccines
the
cause
flu shot
autism. Like I'm
typically.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, but I am saying that like I don't know. I don't really trust this COVID vaccine.
Would you get it later in life if it was more researched and more confirmed
Yes.
to be?
Yes, I would. If it
Okay.
like was standing the test of time and like COVID was becoming an issue again,
Yeah.
I definitely would like consider it a
I feel
lot
you.
more.
Mhm.
It's just like I've heard so many horror stories of people getting complications from it or like it
Yeah.
having and we don't know the long-term effects because it hasn't been the long
I
term
hear
since
you.
the vaccine came out. So
I
like I
understand
don't
your. I hear you.
yeah, and like my father is in his 60s and he's someone I'm like, yes, dad, get the vaccine because long term for him is like 20 years
Exactly.
versus
Long
like
term for
long term
you,
for
yeah.
me is 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
I
I
understand. I
don't
get where you're coming from.
yeah, I don't want to be like 30 and then start having like my lungs eat themselves because of a vaccine I got.
Yeah. What about like mask mandates in like schools or public settings?
I think that should be entirely up to the private business. It shouldn't be up to the government to decide that. Most
Yeah.
places I go ask that you do, but don't enforce it.
Okay.
If places are very like they're very clean and they have a lot of signs and they have employees going around in masks, like asking like politely, I will put one on out of a courtesy.
Yeah.
If it's the
Yeah.
establishment's rule, I'll put one on because hey, whatever. Like I'm
It's
going
the
to
rule.
Stop and
Yeah.
Shop and we throw a mask on.
Okay.
But I don't think it should be something to where like someone can walk into a market without a mask on and then like the business gets fined from the government for not forcing that dude to get a mask on or leave. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah. I understand. I mean, the school we go at right now, it's a really funny like rule.
Mhm.
In classrooms, we are required. They don't really force it, but we're required to wear KN95s. But then anywhere else on campus, it's whatever mask you want, and in the dining halls, we don't even have to wear a mask.
Which
So
like yeah, it's like oh yeah,
yeah,
because the
you
food
can
stops all the COVID. COVID gets hungry too. It needs to eat some food.
Our state governor just requested all schools to drop the mask mandate, but we're gonna wait and see what our school hasn't said anything yet about what our plan is.
Yeah, it's honestly it depends by like the region because it's just everywhere is kind of deciding its own thing. Private businesses are deciding it. Public sector things are starting to decide, hey, we should let off or not.
I feel you. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm definitely like I mean I'm fully cool with if we get rid of the masks and everything right now, like especially with it
Yeah.
heating back up again. Because I've been in
Dude,
2
yeah.
summers with these masks on and it fucking sucks.
I get that.
It sucks. I
It's
remember it was bad.
it's like cold here, so
Mhm.
the one time someone will catch me outside with a mask is if it's like in the teens with wind chill
Oh
and
yeah,
walking to class across campus. Like
absolutely,
I
absolutely. Yeah,
gotta keep the face warm.
yeah. I
Yeah.
got a friend at work, and we constantly talk shit about the masks, and we say that the only time you'll
Yeah.
catch us like walking outside is because like we're walking to our cars because it keeps our faces warm
Yeah.
when we're walking to our cars. But as soon as we're in the cars and the heat's cranking, we pull the masks off, and I usually keep it off the rest of the night, even if I go out to the market or something. Usually, it's not enforced strictly.
The three of us here are also big lifters, so
Oh
like
no, dude, that
going
bro,
going
I went to the gym at like the start of the pandemic for a little while, and I had like a mask on, like a sports mask,
okay,
and those shits suck, dude. I can't breathe.
dude, it's pretty bad. Like going for PRs or even just like simple reps, and then you have to like pull it down, but then like someone comes up and like pull it back up and pull it back up.
Yeah, I know it's annoying,
time to
super annoying.
move on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of moving on, I have another subject for you. I don't know if you're well versed on what's going on in Canada right now. Someone in my chat, Garlic Goblin, a political zoo alumni here, um, is asking what is our take on the Canadian truckers and the blockade over in Ottawa?
Boys, what do you think about the truckers?
So, I mean, I think it's absolutely in their right to go and protest these mandates. I think Canada, out of all countries, has been probably one of the most restrictive. I mean, aside from obviously like Australia as an example, Canada, I think, has definitely been up there with a more kind of hand-holding approach to COVID. And I think at this point, something like the truckers can't work if they don't get vaccinated. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Do you hear him, by the way?
I do hear him. Yeah, I actually muted
Yeah.
my mic so that way there would be more feedback focused on him.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
that is a thing in Canada that also happened in Australia as well.
right. There were a lot of
Where
protests there
yeah,
as
someone
well.
was saying truckers need it, and the truckers were saying absolutely not. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're shutting down the highways. You know,
Exactly.
I definitely support the people who are holding this line, saying we're not going to take this anymore. Get rid of the mask mandates. Get rid of the vaccine mandates. I think it's an absolute cowardly move, of Justin Trudeau, to just complete. Like, you want to tell me that after the weekend of protesting, he gets COVID and has to leave? Like, okay, all right, but yeah, he is hiding somewhere. And he is tweeting like we're gonna get the police involved and do what's best for your kids. He legit said that. Let me see if I can find the exact tweet.
And if I may, like also like if you think about truckers, they go days on ends just driving.
Oh, absolutely.
They're by themselves, or in some cases maybe a second driver that they're close with or a coworker. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if again, this goes back to the vaccines. If they want to get a vaccine, all in their right to do so. But if they're just driving and that's their everyday job, and it's not like they're seeing people all the time, and personally they don't want to, I feel like you just gotta let it go up to them. And I mean, we can't have people like my roommate said, hold our hands through our whole lives to tell us like something that works. It's been out for what, almost 2 years. By this time, almost 2, yeah.
No, 2. Sorry, my bad.
2. So by this time, if like you want it, you have the resources to get it. If you don't, hey, that's on you, man. But best of luck, kind of.
Yeah. See, and with the truckers, I can totally see like, hey, mask mandates when you get out of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But with like vaccine mandates, they're an isolated truck half the time. They're just driving up and down. Like, if we're careful and have common sense mandates, we can make it so that way they're not spreading the vaccine. I mean the pandemic virus here.
I feel you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. If I may ask real quick, because I
Sure
want to
thing.
keep up with this like podcast, what you do. What was the name of your podcast?
So it's the Political Zoo.
The Political Zoo.
Yeah, Political Zoo. I am streaming to my YouTube right now. You can catch me over on YouTube. And I stream under the VOP USA Radio Network. Shout out to my boy Dan, who he curates a bunch of shows on network. We have everything from politics to like a show about heavy metal, a show about cars. So
Okay.
we have a lot of content, and we're trying to like break out as a network. So if you're interested in some like some lower production, like more authentic stuff, you definitely want to check out the VOP USA Radio Network.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Man.
like
Yeah.
this a lot.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you can see me over on YouTube. I have a purple profile picture with a flag and a bunch of animals, and it says Political Zoo. All my VODs are up there, so you can catch previous episodes. Awesome, man.
Sick. Yeah.
Thanks,
I don't
brother.
want
Thanks,
to keep
brother.
holding you for the other people that might come in, but it was nice talking with you.
Appreciate it, man. I hope I run into you again. We can talk a little bit more. Have a good night, brother.
You too, man.
Man, what I wouldn't give to trade hats with that guy. It's pretty sick, not gonna lie. Oh, just the top of the head. We like COVID and vaccines.
Yes, I like getting sick and wheezing and puking and having a high temperature. I like that.
I assume you've had COVID?
Could I make a long story short here?
So I would actually love the long story. So before you go into it, my name's Ganny, and I'm running a podcast right now called The Political Zoo. So I am live streaming. I hope that's cool with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
So like, yeah, you just are on the air right now. So just keep in mind before you say like, oh yeah, and then my social security card had this number on it. Before you start saying stuff like that.
Well, I appreciate
it. So
heads up.
yeah, no problem, my man. So go ahead, tell me about your COVID experience.
Mine wasn't that bad. So my wife's sister, her husband, and 3 kids moved in from Vegas to where I'm currently at.
All right.
And we have the mandates in our state, mask mandates. And the first person to have symptoms was the first grader, which I was, nobody else had the symptoms. So she, I think, probably got it from school, and the majority of the school are vaccinated and have masks. So she was the first one to have symptoms, and then her older brother in 6th grade started having symptoms. His temperature was like 103. So they both got tested. They tested positive, and then their parents, my wife's sister and her husband, both tested positive. My son was under the weather. My wife and I were both under the weather. I was kind of sick for like 3 days, and I had a lingering cough. You know how you get the urge to cough and you need cough drops constantly?
Yeah.
That was on for like a week straight. But I was under the weather kind of like for 3 days, but we never got tested. My family never got tested.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he was asking me like, yeah, I got COVID. I was like, so what? It's the flu. Get over it.
Yeah, it's essentially a flu.
Yeah,
I think we kind of blew it out of proportion as far as our initial response, and then our continued response, I feel like, has just overhyped this thing into absolute.
Yeah. So I said, just take vitamin D, 5,000, minimum 5,000 international units, vitamin C, zinc, quercetin, elderberry extract, selenium, melatonin. What else do you need? You're good? All right.
Get that, chat. That's your next shopping list.
Yep. Minimum 5,000 international units for vitamin D. So you need the zinc quercetin because the vitamin D gets the zinc into the cell.
Explain it again.
So you need the zinc to go to correlate with the vitamin D because the zinc.
All right.
Inside the cell.
I'm trying to get a new whole like supplement health routine, so I'm gonna keep that in mind.
And also, like in the Northwest, people don't get much sun, so you need your vitamin D and stuff to combat lack of sun. So, and since the media says that blacks are more prevalent to COVID, is because they're melanin and they get less sun, so their vitamin D is lower than white.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Vitamin D
funny because at the start of the pandemic, I remember a Facebook gag post was going around saying black people couldn't get COVID. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, they have more melanin, so the sunlight, they have to get more sun to produce more vitamin D. Whites don't.
Bonk my microphone.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So So you've been through the trenches as far as COVID. You know what it's like, and you've been following it. And even though you say, like, I totally hear it, and I agree with you saying it's a cold, it's a flu. Just take your vitamin C and vitamin D and get over it. What are your thoughts on the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates? Do you think those are something that the law should mandate?
No, well, the legislative body is the one that should be implementing it, not mandates from the governor. It's unconstitutional. Secondly, you have the Nuremberg codes. Thirdly, you have informed consent, and when you have all the tech companies censoring anything that's countering the narrative of COVID, that's not technically, you're not informed consent means you have the information. Well, if all the information is censored from you, and any doctors that go about saying, hey, this is not that serious, here's the treatment for it, or the vaccines, you get banned off, social media. So it's not technically informed consent. As far as like the mandates, the masks don't work. The randomized clinical trials, which are the gold standard of science, show that masks do not work. We've had them for like plus 20, 30 years. The flu virus is, the COVID virus is smaller than your conventional flu virus. And the COVID travels on the aerosols of water vapor, basically, from when you breathe out. So when you're outside in the cold, you can see your breath, your water vapor, basically.
Correct.
The masks. And the COVID-19 virus is measured in nanometers, and the the mask, the cloth mask, which the CDC says now that they don't work, which we knew didn't work. Now they're coming out saying they don't work. Go figure. They filter out microns, which is significantly larger than flu viruses, especially COVID. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I hear you there. I totally like it. Yeah. No, I love having like informative conversations about this. A lot of the stuff around COVID gets lost to hype, gets lost to fear, gets lost to just like, oh, I heard from that guy that guy said, that this scientist said. So it's good to hear someone who's like, you're very informed on it. And I'm very excited to talk to someone who is.
Can I also add something too?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, well, they lied about the origin of it. They lied about natural immunity when Fauci was asked about natural immunity and stuff like that, and should that be considered? And he didn't really give an answer on CNN when he was interviewed about it. Well, we already know how natural immunity has way better defense against variants than the vaccine does, since they're now admitting it. But he did. I mean, he's a virologist for 40 years, and he didn't give an answer on natural immunity. Why? Because he's paid for by pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. About vaccine,
the leaked emails show that he really doesn't like. His number one priority in this isn't to ensure the well-being of the populace. It's him to get famous while doing so.
And what's funny too is like when he was asked on about the third or fourth time by Rand Paul, he was like, "Well, I'm just echoing what the CDC is saying." And like, no, you're not. The CDC basically echoes what pharma wants, but he's not in a vacuum by himself, and not the CDC is actually taking direction from him as well. So for him to deflect and saying, I'm just doing with the CDC and stuff. Yeah. So sorry, mid rant there, but my bad.
No, that's why I have a show, man. People want to watch rants.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sick and tired of this mask mandate and this vaccine thing. So I'm not vaccinated.
Good choice.
Thank you. Do I think that's a reason to get in people's face and brag about how I'm better than them? Absolutely not. Do I think there should be any kind of mandates for vaccines? I don't think so. If people want to get the vaccine and feel safer, I feel like, yeah, go ahead, do what you got to do. My father is immunocompromised, and as soon as the vaccine was available, I'm like, Dad, go grab it. My biggest concern when it comes to these vaccines is the long-term effects. My dad's in his 60s, so his long-term effects goes for around 15 to 20 years. My long-term effects are 50 years.
Yeah.
So I need to think about it. I'm sorry?
Did your father take the vaccine?
Yes, he did.
Both shots, or he's boosted?
I know he's fully boosted. Whenever he gets whenever a new one comes out in his, I forget which brand he got. But whenever a new booster comes out in his brand chain, he immediately gets put on an appointment and goes in and gets it. I mean, like, he's an old man. He's someone that, like, I want to be safe from that.
When you say immunocompromised, did he have cancer in the past, or?
No, so he had a organ transplant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, so he had like active immune suppressant medication, which actually has led to cancer, which he's doing that right now. So he's in and out of hospitals all the time now, getting like dialysis and going in for cancer treatments and stuff. So, like, you know, he's constantly around sick people, and he doesn't have that big of an immune system to stand up on anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
so it's something where it's like, you know, like, give it to him. You know what I mean? Like what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like, he's not gonna grow horns or anything, right? Like, I feel like it's a good move for someone in the position of my dad. But me, as like a semi-healthy 20-something, like, I need to go to the gym. But like a semi-healthy 20-something,
you're heavy. You're heavy as me.
How heavy do you think I am?
You look about maybe 245, 250.
Oh, stop it.
Too
nice to me. Too nice.
265.
Oh, now you're just being a dick.
Oh, damn.
No, I'm just messing with you.
280. So.
Yeah, no, I'm around the 265 mark. It just kind of fluctuates depending on what I eat or how much I drink. Yeah,
yep.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's a super complicated issue, and I have family members that are like on me, like they always rag on me for not getting the vaccine. And I remember over the summer, my aunt hugged my brother who is vaccinated, and then she looked at me and went, I would give you a hug, but you know, you're not vaccinated. And I just was like, all right, like, whatever. Like,
blood, bro.
Yeah, no, I was like, hey, you know what? If that's how you want to base how you treat people on how much they follow like the narrative that the big government pushes, then more power to you, man. Enjoy that.
What are they worried about?
Yeah, true. Yeah. What are they worried about if they're vaccinated?
Yeah, they're good to go. They got this. They already got the safety.
Yeah, exactly. Why are they afraid of me?
Not them.
Yeah. Well, because if you get the vaccine, you can still get it, and you can also still transmit it. So what's the point in getting the vaccine?
And they lied about that too. Rachel Walensky, the CDC director, said that, and Biden said that you will not transmit you'll not get COVID, and you won't transmit it. And then they changed.
Yeah, because you were still able to.
Yeah, and whenever they get caught, they say, "Well, the science is evolving." No, it's not.
Because they're rushing it out so fast to like get people vaccinated, so we can have that warm, fuzzy feeling that we did the right thing before we return to normal, instead of the attitude of, screw that, I'm just not going to listen to them anymore. You know what I mean? They want to still be the good guys in this situation, even when they should just let it go.
So what do you think the end game is?
Well, so like the end game of this, hopefully this stuff gets over soon. And I feel like if there was some kind of nefarious end game, the truckers in Canada are kind of showing that the people still have a voice that matters. Terry in chat a couple minutes ago, truckers are the lifeblood of North America. Absolutely.
Yeah, they got more than anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they have so much power, and they, you know, if you get a bunch of people to stop on the highway and stop interstate travel, you're going to have issues. It truly shows the power of democracy and our right to freely protest, something we find unjust.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the trucker line is being so avoided in United States mainstream media. Like, you really have to go to like smaller newspapers on the side and look at like small sources and do your own research on it, because no one's going to spoon-feed you this story, because they don't want the general American person to know what's going on and what they're supporting and how well it's working.
Yep, they lied about the size of the protest.
Exactly. Yep. And not a building burnt down, not a person like assaulted, or no places looted, no fires. Like, there are pictures of protesters cleaning up a public square after a protest.
Yeah,
like,
and the crime in Iowa has like dropped.
because no one's committing crimes, they're too busy protesting. Like, they're all there at the line.
Yeah.
and
Like,
Trudeau ran away. So like
crime,
they're
watch the
looking for it.
truckers.
Absolutely, yeah. Like they're, and did you see what like the Canadian, what Trudeau and the Canadian like police are saying?
Well, I saw him at Parliament, and he was, but he was trying to push vaccines, and there was somebody else in Parliament, a blonde lady, who basically like BTFO'd him and basically said, "So what do you want? You want the population to be 90% of the population in Canada is vaccinated? Not to mention you have people have already had COVID. So do you want the population to be 100% vaccinated?" And then he just didn't really answer. It just kind of kept going on about vaccines. But
actually, gonna look that up. What's the Canadian vaccination rate right now in Canada?
90%.
So in Canada, it says that 80% are fully vaccinated, which is that's way over the herd immunity number too.
Yeah.
Like
well, fully vaccinated is the 2 shots up and post 14 days.
Okay.
Well, that's according to like the CDC recognizes somebody to be vaccinated where you have 2 shots and you're post 14 days. So if you get 2 shots and you get COVID on the 3rd day after your 2nd shot, they call it a unvaccinated case when you're in the hospital.
Oh, okay, because it didn't take hold or whatever.
Yeah, it didn't take the 14 days.
Yeah. So like, not to like, I'm not sitting there like actually it's 80%, but it's more just that's also a big number, and that's probably the best number you're going to be able to get. I remember earlier in the summer, President Biden on Twitter said that we would go back to normal at 97% vaccination, which is impossible. There's no way that's going to happen unless you're going to hold people down and force vaccines. There's no way that's going to happen. And so for Canada to still be in lockdown after the mass vaccinations, after the cases aren't on the rise, that's that's worth protesting. And Trudeau is now threatening like police action and like riot containment, even though it's not a riot. It's a very peaceful protest.
Yep.
It's something that it really grinds my gears when I see that. Like, he said like, all right, we hear you. It's now time to go home. It's like, you hear me, like, fuck you. You hear me, do something about it.
Yeah.
You know
it was funny.
Like,
yeah, they were against the vaccine when Trump was in office.
Oh yeah. Because then Trump would have got the credit.
Yeah. Yep. They didn't want to take it. Biden was like, who's going to take the shot? Kamala was like, I wouldn't trust anything that Trump makes. So she was distrustful of the vaccine. And then all of a sudden, like Rogan said, once they get power or whatever.
Yep. And I think that's really funny too, because like, did they imagine Trump in like a lab coat and goggles, like synthesizing a chemical? Like, Trump's not doing it there. Like, it's under his leadership, but he's not like in there making it.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why, but he likes taking credit for stuff, even though he really has not really anything to do with it technically.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like him being able to allocate funds and getting the right people in the right space quickly, like that is what he should be like. That's of course credit to him, but like Trump did not sit there and like there's no chalkboard and Trump's like whacking away at it with like organic chemistry models and he's like, yeah, this is the vaccine. Like, no, Trump's not doing anything on the ground floor of that work. Like Trump's responsibility in that situation is getting the right people in the right agencies to make sure they can do that job and then distributing it well.
Yeah. Do you actually think the COVID numbers are 100% accurate?
Oh, absolutely not. They're 100% inflated. I don't think that. It's one of those things where unless I had like a crystal ball with like world stats, I wouldn't know. It's something that no one can possibly know. But hospitals, especially in New York, are getting federal grants the more COVID patients they treat. So like you could have had like your leg blown off and you're spewing blood out of your femoral artery.
Yep.
And they would diagnose you with COVID right before you died, so that way they would get the funding.
And you test for COVID, and then you get your COVID case.
Oh yeah, exactly. I had a friend who his father passed away in a car accident during the pandemic, and he said the first thing they did when they got to the hospital was they tested him for COVID, and they declared him positive, and then they med flighted him to a different hospital, and the different hospital said, "Oh, he's COVID negative." But do you think that first hospital is going to correct that statistic?
No,
and how many other statistics like that have been affected through hospitals saying like, hey, if they come in, every other guy, even if they don't have it, just say they have it and get vaccine.
Yep.
We'll put it into your bonus, kind of a thing, you know?
There's actually a doctor on Telegram explaining all the benefits hospitals get from like COVID testing, COVID treatment, ventilators, even deaths. Like if they put it on the coroner and stuff like that, they still get money.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And like that's why I think that even at the beginning of COVID time, I don't know if you followed it in New York, the mayor of New York was using retirement centers as like extra COVID housing, which like, yeah, let's take the people who are affected the worst by this pandemic and then put people who have it in that building and then say that, oh my goodness, look at all these cases. Like we need lockdowns. Like, no, we need you to not make stupid decisions like that.
And Trump sent the mercy ship, and the Cuomo never even used it.
Oh yeah, dude, that was something that really just got me going. Was that during the Trump administration's people in like places wouldn't take his help, and that's something where it's like, dude, isn't he your leader? Like, just take the help. If President Biden wanted to give me like a couple $100 to help me like pay rent this month, I'm not gonna slap his hand away and say like, no. Like, no, I'd be like, yeah, like that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
And I lived in Portland since 2006, and I go downtown a lot, and I was experiencing the riots like constantly. There was like 100 days of straight riots, and Kate Brown and Ted Wheeler were like, we don't want any of Trump's help, so they just let the courthouse like burn. So instead of actually, because they send him in and there's quiet and there's peace, Trump gets credit. They'd rather have their city burned to the ground. In Portland.
It's unreal.
So
like the spite some people have is unreal. Like in order to make
Lightfoot didn't get National Guard in their city.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like there's a phrase that I learned this past year. You can't bite your nose to spite your face.
Yep.
And it's like a lot of people are doing that. They're just hurting themselves to make something else look bad. Where it's like in actuality, if you just took the help, it'd be fine.
What platform are you streaming on?
So I'm currently streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and a couple of Facebook pages at the moment.
Oh, awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Tell me the YouTube page.
I got you. It's Political Zoo. I just sent it in chat. I'm the host, Ganny, and you'll see me like on camera.
You're actually that streamer I met tonight that was actually about to stream.
Oh, really? That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. The other one was man, I forgot. Conzo and something. Zoo and Conzo or something. Yeah, George and Conzo. Yeah. He's more of a America First streamer and stuff like that. But you're actually streaming a lot. He was not.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Hopefully I'll run into him. We can have a collab. That'd be cool.
Yep. You a Patriots fan?
Absolutely. That's why I'm wearing it. Super Bowl weekend. I figured I'd put on the sports gear.
Are you sad about Brady?
It's kind of one of those things where he chose his career and he moved on from the Patriots, and he's just kind of, he played his game. He got another Super Bowl ring with a different team. And then if he wants to retire, he's like in his mid 40s now. Like,
you got like
retire, you can retire.
You got 3 or 4 kids, man. Just stay with the wifey.
Exactly. And Brady even said too that his wife always makes more money than him at the end of the year. So to him, it really doesn't matter. He said it's fine if I retire. Like, it's not the end of the world.
What do you think your Patriots are going to do next year?
Hopefully a lot better. We just got to get Coach Belichick a little more comfortable with Mac Jones. I feel like at times they really didn't Belichick didn't really trust Mac Jones to be able to perform, which I think is a bad decision. Every time they put him in the crunch zone, he always does well. They just need to be able to trust him more and put more faith in the passing game.
Yeah, the 4 passing attempts against Buffalo was good.
Yeah, I know, but it's Buffalo. Like Patriots always had issues with Buffalo, so. Absolutely,
but yeah,
man.
I'll get on your YouTube channel and subscribe.
Man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and you have a great night.
You got it, man. Appreciate it.
Catch you later, man. Hey, JB Juniors, what's going on, man? This is the end of the Democratic Party. See, I don't think so, and I wish it was. I very much wish it was the end of the Democratic Party. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can. So I'm not wiggling my mouse all over the place. There we go. I honestly don't think it is. people were saying that. I was even saying that in 2016 when everybody who identified as a Democrat was screaming and peeing themselves over how awful Trump was and how this is the worst candidate, and Republicans are going to win for the next 40 years because look at these liberals and they're showing us how they really act. I honestly don't think it's going to be. I would like to think so. It would be cool to see like a crackdown, but yeah, these are elites that do insane stuff, get away with it all the time. Hey, what's up, Vegas? Thank you so much, man. Have a good night. Yeah, it was great talking to you as well. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the end of the establishment at all. I feel like something's got to be a lot stronger, a lot more radical, a lot more like in your face, and something that has to like actually be affecting the mainstream American. Like with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, it boggles my mind how he didn't drag all those celebrities out in the street and ask them about like why were you in the black book? Because it doesn't affect the mainstream person. It doesn't affect people like you and me. It's something that happens out of sight, out of mind. You know, unless it's something where they're actively doing something to the crowd, then no one's going to do anything about it, and that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing. Garlic Goblin, the degenerating humanities gradually contaminated political sciences with embassy. From there, the right wing became the sunflower, or the left wing became the sunflower class in the politics spectrum. Honestly, I could see that because a lot of the humanities, a lot of artists would go to school and then, they usually have left-leaning views because it's, more government help and going through. So I could definitely see that. Education's always going to lean left because the left funds education. A constant platform for the right is defunding the Department of Education. So it makes sense that that the left would be something that comes out of education. So let's hop back into Omegle, see who we can find. Just want to answer a couple comments from chat. Hey, what's going on? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Oh boy, I hope this isn't something wrong with my setup. Hello?
Oh, are you on like a gaming show right now?
I'm not on a gaming show. I'm on a political podcast.
Oh,
For who? What side?
So I lean center right, but I have people come on from all walks of life, all different areas of the spectrum. I had a guest on one time who was one of the founding members of Fred Hampton Leftists. And like I'm someone who doesn't. Yeah. So like I like take everybody on. My show is called The Political Zoo. And you don't go to the zoo just to see one kind of animal and then go home. You go on to see all the animals. So I do that with my political guests as well.
Wait, are you on YouTube or something?
I am on YouTube. I'm on Twitch and a couple of Facebook pages.
Go on YouTube.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Political Zoo.
Political Zoo. That's right. Yep. My profile picture's purple and all my VODs are up there. But yeah, I'm currently live streaming. So if you go on my YouTube, you'll definitely see you. Yep, that's me.
Hold on. Stay there. I want to see myself.
Wait, it's really delayed.
It's all right. I through the streaming service. It's probably gonna get delayed.
Hey guys.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
It's really delayed.
That is what it is. There you go. All right, guys.
All right.
See you later.
See ya.
Yeah, they look a little young, but hey, nothing wrong with a little bit of seeing yourself on stream. Hey, what's going on?
Are you on stream? You're on stream?
I am on stream right now. Yep, I'm currently live streaming.
Oh shit!
That's right.
So wait,
yeah.
if I say nigger.
Yeah, no, we don't like that. Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Nothing much, my man. I'm currently live streaming. If you're not comfortable being live, just let me know.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Sick, man. Sick. How you doing tonight?
How
Huh?
many viewers you got though?
I currently have 4 viewers across a couple of different platforms. It jumps up between like 8 and sometimes it goes down to like 2. It just kind of depends on who's coming in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, I am streaming to Facebook and sometimes their numbers aren't really reliable on like who's watching or not. So
Okay.
Yeah. Around that. So yeah, my name's Ganny and I'm hosting a show called The Political Zoo, where I go out in the wild and I get people who have different political views and talk about them. So we met on the politics tab. Is there anything that you're like particularly passionate about that you want to talk about tonight?
Well, for starters, I would call myself a libertarian.
Already.
Political views in that regard.
Sweet. Glad to know what I'm working with.
mostly into economic issues.
Mm-hmm.
Social
Mm-hmm.
stuff, I'm not too. I don't care too much about it. I'm generally pretty progressive though. So,
Alrighty.
yeah.
So, being a libertarian and being a little more on the left, what are your opinions on vaccine mandates and mask mandates?
I don't support mandates when it comes to that, especially at like a government level. And I also kind of question the effectiveness of like something like a mask mandate. Simply just because like cloth masks aren't really shown to be very effective at all.
Correct.
Yeah, a mandate would kind of basically just say you can wear any kind of mask, and that's a little bit stupid to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then with like vaccine mandates, I feel like that would just divide the country so much, and like it's really not worth it. Especially since the vaccine is like the effectiveness decreases over time. Like we're kind of getting to a point where it doesn't really do that much anymore.
Are you vaccinated?
Yeah, I am.
Already. Have you heard anything about the truckers over in Canada?
Yeah, the protest.
Yeah, the Freedom Convoy, with how they're holding a giant like protest. What are your opinions on that? If you like fall into that at all?
I haven't looked into it actually. I just like heard about it.
It's very interesting. So there's a truckers union is getting hit with, hey, if they're not vaccinated, they can't work. And the biggest opinion is no one should be forced to be vaccinated. It's encouraged, and a majority are. And Canada has an 80% fully vaccination rate, by the way. So this is something where I definitely think that like now there's enough for herd immunity for Canada to be able to let off full restrictions. So they're being told like, hey, listen, get your vaccine or get fired. And these truckers said no, and now they're forming a giant line shutting down the highways, which is crippling the Canadian economy. And it's getting to the point where Trudeau is starting to threaten military power if they don't go home.
Wow.
Okay. Oh yeah, he said
based off what you told me, I would support that.
Oh yeah, that's like it's something where it's tough because the mainstream media is not going to report this. It's super like independent, and like smaller mainstream sources are covering it. Like you'll probably hear like a side piece about it over on CNN or Fox or something. But if you want like articles like really talking about it, you want to go to like The Guardian or Newsweek or like more stuff that's usually not completely in the mainstream. Like they'll talk to you a little more about it, and I highly recommend you look into it.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely, yeah, because it's crazy. It's such a good display of what public opinion and peaceful protest can accomplish.
Very interesting.
Exactly. I'll leave you with that, my man. Look into it and support the truckers if you can find a way. A lot of great donation sites out there.
My personal
Hey, what's going on?
Favorite. What's up? Are you still a Patriots fan?
I am still a Patriots fan.
Man, I respect it.
Thanks, man. Are you live streaming too?
No.
Sweet.
Why would I live stream Omegle? That's really depressing.
I'm live streaming Omegle. It's part of my podcast.
How many people are watching?
I got between around like 5 and 8.
Not bad.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I'm streaming on a couple different platforms. I'm on YouTube. I'm on a couple of Facebook pages and a Twitch page.
Go for it. What's your political angle?
So I usually lean around center right. I say center right because there's some things on the left I agree with. I don't want to live in a corporate dystopia, but I also don't want to live in a government like oppressive shithole. So I usually identify on the right, but I promote like, higher taxes, cutting loopholes on the rich, mind you, not on the common man, obviously. Setting up programs to where instead of taxes pay for like infrastructure, we get like
property tax.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, screw that. I hate taxes.
But you just said you support higher taxes
on the rich. I should have prefaced that. I'm sorry. Like
how do you define the rich?
People who make over $1 million a year.
I think that's rich.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What are you talking about? How is that not rich?
I thought you were going to say billionaires. I don't
Well,
consider
yeah.
anybody.
I mean, they both are.
I don't consider people that make over $1 million rich.
Are you in California?
New York City.
Oh, that explains it. Tough.
Yo.
What's up, my man? That guy looked underage.
No,
Hey,
my
how's it
mom
going?
smokes and she drank from that can.
All right. Hey, what's going on, man? We matched on 5 tags.
Politics, Trump, COVID, Biden, Ukraine. Are you from Boston, Massachusetts?
I'm close to there. Yeah, I'm live streaming right now. So if you're not comfortable with being live, feel free to skip. All right, my man.
What are you on?
I'm currently on YouTube, a Twitch page, a couple Facebook pages.
Okay, I mean, are you trying to have a real conversation? I mean, I don't care. Just
of course, yeah.
you
No, so
trying to
I
make
have a no, go for it, man. So I have a political podcast called The Political Zoo. I'm Ganny. I'm the host. And every weekend I go out on Omegle and I just meet random people under a bunch of political tags and we talk about political issues, about current events and stuff. And, we have a fun time. So if you want to joke, man, make my chat laugh. I love to hear it, man. I have a good time.
Are you going to watch the game tomorrow, bro?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's Super Bowl weekend. So I figure I wear this. Usually I wear like a hoodie and like a blazer over it. But, it's the sports weekend. I got to represent my team.
Okay. I mean, who are you going for? I'm curious.
Dude, I want to say the Bengals because that's the Cinderella story, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that are like they made it, they never should have, and it's but then the Rams are like the Rams, like they're to the point where they're the I don't know, the stats are pretty neck and neck.
Yeah.
They're both teams that weren't originally speculated to make it as far as they have.
Yeah.
So we're either in for an exciting game or a really boring game tomorrow.
I think it's going to be a boring game, but it's just like I wouldn't even have given the Bengals a shot, but then they just went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. So
in Kansas City,
Joe Burrow might take it home tomorrow. I'm not counting him out. I ain't counting him out.
We'll see. It's all going to come down to tomorrow.
Hey, bro. So I guess let me just kind of ask you this because I'm trying to just kind of pick on certain things. I've been trying to find Trump people, but they're hiding from me. So where do you lean politically? Are you in the middle?
So I like to say that I'm center right.
Okay, on everything or just like
on most things. So I say center right as like an overall. That's my stance. I don't really like saying, "Oh, I'm Republican or Democrat" because I really don't like both the platforms that they run on. I'm on the left side as far as climate change, as far as making sure that these like corporations aren't making an actual dystopia of the country that I love and live in. But I'm more on the right side involving a lot of like social issues and governmental issues. A lot of my politics derive from me being a Christian. So I do like hold that. So that's usually where I see stuff. But like, being a Christian, this is earth. This is the home God made us. We need to take care of it. Now, the way I want to take care of it is the way that no liberal wants to take care of it, which is nuclear power, because nuclear power is legit how we solve every freaking issue involving climate change other than plastic.
Okay, that's curious. So, okay, let me ask you this. So I would assume you're against government regulation in most instances, right?
Yes.
Okay. Even perhaps maybe the government stepping in and stopping a woman's right to choose what she does with her own body?
So as far as abortion goes, it's not so much. So my stance, so I am pro-life on my stance of abortion.
Sure.
In that instance, the way that like I look at it and the way that like I see it to be true is that that's not a woman's body. It's her killing a complete separate organism. That is not just like the same as killing an ant or just ripping off like a part of her skin or a clump of cells. There is DNA there that is the building blocks of life and forming a new human being. Now, and part of being pro-life and saying, hey, I don't want abortion, that's not me just saying, all right, abortion's illegal. It's over. We're done. As I hit my mic into my beard. It's not like that. That's not the end of that discussion, because then that goes into, okay, we now need to make sure that there's better tax subsidies and programs for families. We have to be able to get more money to single parent households so that way they can take care of kids. This is propping up public and community centers so that way kids have good outlets and good role models that they can look up to. This is to bolster DCF and completely redo from the ground up how they do things to make sure that with the more kids we're going to have to take care of, that their lives are better and that we produce more stable kids that make more stable adults that make our country and fabric of society a lot better. It's not as easy as just ban abortion and that's it. And a lot of people focus on that as the war cry, which is like very understandable because that is the end goal, is get rid of abortion. But with abortion not being around, it would have to be like, okay, now we got to make sure that like we're putting them in the position. Now this is what we have to do. Now, I'm not a big fan of premarital sex. I'm not someone who's like, whatever, but my values don't hold to a lot of people. A lot of people don't have the same values I do. And if anyone knows me personally who's watching this podcast, they know how much of a freaking hypocrite I am when I say stuff like that. So so access to ethical free birth control is an absolute must when it comes to like pro-life, like ethical, like condoms, diaphragms. I'm not saying like Plan B or like abortion pills, but I'm saying stuff to prevent the pregnancy, because once the pregnancy happens, it shouldn't be stopped. But let's not get it from getting there. You know what I mean? Let's stop it from happening. So like, you got to be able to have condoms to be given out, male and female condoms. You have to be able to get diaphragms to be out to the public. Birth control pills need to be a little bit easier to get and stuff. Like it has to be so that way, because like it's a give and take. You can't just change something and expect everything else to stay the same, everything to fall into place. Like you have to do certain things to lead up to it.
You'd be surprised. No, listen. You're obviously very thoughtful.
Thank you. You seem super surprised when I said, yeah, condoms need to be more available if we're going to do.
Well, I mean, it's like you're a unicorn. You can take your hat off. You got the unicorn thing sticking up.
These.
I don't know what's going on here. No, that was really thoughtful. I mean, I think a lot of times pro-lifers don't understand, it's not an end all be all to end abortion. There's a chain reaction.
Oh, absolutely. There's a decent group of people who are like I remember seeing back when there were talks and like, oh, there's a possibility the Supreme Court could overturn it. There are some political accounts that I do follow, and they were saying like, listen, this is step one. If you're a true pro-lifer and part of this movement, especially if you're part of the Christian pro-life group, you can't just leave once abortion's done, because that's not the end. The end is making sure that we have a society that's catering to the family.
No, I live in Texas, for example. And, I live in I live in ground zero for conservative.
I was going to say, to quote Donald Glover, otherwise known as Childish Gambino, it's where they manufacture white people. So,
I wasn't going to use that, because what I will say is I think Greg Abbott, he's our governor. He's very, he's very pro-choice, pro-life, very conservative. He's already signed into law something called a trigger law. As soon as Roe versus Wade is overturned, which I have no doubt it will. I mean, it's only going to happen. They're going to outlaw abortion in Texas. I mean, it's just, and they just signed this. Well, I won't even get it too much into that. Let me ask you this question. Okay. We'll move on to vaccines. Obviously vaccines, other types of vaccines have been mandated for quite some time. It's not a new thing. Just the vaccine is new. What is your stance on mandating vaccines, specifically for military? Because that's where I keep hearing the most pushback. People keep saying, well, military shouldn't have to do that. They should have the right to choose. Although when you enlist, you pretty much have to be up to date on pretty much every other vaccine.
So as far as like the military goes, because this COVID vaccine is kind of like a wild card. Like when a lot of people bring up the COVID vaccine, especially proponents of the COVID vaccine, they try to treat it like it's the same kind of thing, like everything else that we've gotten, like the measles and smallpox and everything. This isn't a vaccine that stood the test of time. Now, I'm not anti-vax by any means. Like, I was born, I got all my shots. Like, I'm vaccinated against everything else. These are vaccines that have been out like 20, 30, 40, 50 years now. But this COVID vaccine,
I've heard that argument a lot.
Yeah, but the COVID vaccine to me seems like something rushed. They say it's going to do something, and then they constantly scale back what it actually does. You can still get COVID. You can still transmit COVID. The biggest part of the vaccine is it reduces the mortality effect of COVID. Now, as a mid-20s fairly healthy male. I do have to go to the gym, but like fairly healthy young man. I don't have any insane like health conditions. The mortality rate for COVID for me is 0.004% lethal. If I get COVID, I'm kind of willing to roll those dice because I know if I just drink an orange juice and take a nap, I'll be fine. Now, I do have friends who had COVID that his taste is just starting to return to him after months of not having COVID, like being done with COVID. So I do recognize that it hits everybody differently, and certain strains do certain things in certain places. I'm not a big fan of mandates. Military, I can see it being something that's a little more acceptable because that is the arm of the US government. So like they can't kind of make a rules for thee and rules for me kind of a thing. It really just kind of depends on, I would say it depends on the leadership of the United States military. And if the people in the military don't want to get that vaccine, they are more than welcome just to say, okay, I'm done. I don't think there should be any like shame for people who leave because of that. I don't think there should be any like retraction of benefits or like anything done to where it's like they get like a negative stain on their service record. And I feel like
if you do it, it's a dishonorable discharge. I mean, if you
yeah, I don't think that's okay.
If you're released for not taking the vaccine, then I mean, it's a DD.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think that's okay. I think that's too much. It should just be a temp discharge, honestly, because in 3 years from now, is it going to matter? Is like the COVID still going to be rattling around with like vaccine and everything?
Can I pose a point to you?
Go for it, man.
Where does it stop though? Okay, so the COVID vaccine, everyone says, okay, this is a little bit different. It hasn't withstood the test of time. Okay, well, where does it stop? Well, what about if your superior in the military tells you to do something that you in good conscience can't do? Can you then refuse to do that? Should you be mandated to listen to your superior in the military? I mean, it's just like to me, it's like this is setting a bad precedent. I mean, this is something that's been fully FDA approved. And then one thing I'll say to the time frame, everyone, and I agree with you, the vaccine for COVID is not the same for measles, mumps, rubella, whatever the case. It's not the same. But it's just like, I keep hearing people say the word rushed. I mean, with the advancements we've made in science and technology and just overall knowledge, something that took us 50 years to develop, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, we could do it in the fraction of the time now. So I don't, the whole timing of it. And then just if what this vaccine took to develop is too soon now, then what's a reasonable time? Like it's 5 years, 10 years. Is that how long it should take to have a viable vaccine and other people's solution and other people's opinion?
Super good point and super awesome question with an awesome attitude on saying that. You don't know how many people just scream at me and call me an idiot live on the air. So thank you for being a wicked good guest. So I don't say rushed because it came out in such a small time frame or it came out in a specific time window. Rushed gets brought around because of the uncertainty after it is distributed and the constant like having to go back and but we need another booster and we need to do this and like you got to have something to edit. It's kind of like equate it kind of like, at least in my mind, I equate it to kind of like a video game release where like you release the base game, but then you got to release like a big patch the next week it comes out. And then like another patch like 2 weeks later, because issues keep popping up with the base game. That shows that original product was rushed because of the constant need to go in and edit it and fix it for upgoing situations, not adding new content, not adding like new resistances to the vaccine, but it's more just like, oh shit, we have to put in stuff post vaccine to keep it being as effective as we said it was going to be in the first place. That to me shows this was more focused on getting it out on time versus getting out the quality shot of it. Now, granted, I am not like, obviously, I don't take this off and put a lab coat on. So I'm really kind of speaking only from a political sense, but just from my experience looking at it, to me, that's why I say it looks rushed.
So would you agree that just about anything with any sort of like product that's some that derives from just basic scientific research, the beginning, like your starting object is not what you end with. Nothing is going to be perfect. Things are going to change over time. I mean, I keep hearing, people say Dr. Fauci is a liar because first he said that you didn't have to wear masks, and then they said you had to wear masks. I mean, to me, that was just like basic scientific research. What the knowledge we started with, the very little information we knew about COVID, it evolved. It got better. I mean, we started to learn more. Therefore, the guidance changed. So the idea that the CDC or whomever is going back and changing their guidelines or just making different recommendations, I don't think that necessarily means it was rushed. I think that's just responsible. I think that's just like responsible scientific research. We found this out, and our studies lead us to believe that if we make these changes, we can stay on the right course. But I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, trust me. I listen. I live in Texas, man. No one wearing masks. No one's wearing masks. No one was wearing masks a year ago, man. Hey, can I ask you one more question, bro?
Sure thing, man. Go for it.
Ask you about what's going on in what's possibly about to happen in Ukraine. So,
so I actually haven't even talked about that much. I've been mostly talking about the Canadian trucker protest. No. So I've talked about that all night. I'm willing to talk about Ukraine and all that stuff now. Oh, this is some crazy stuff right now over in Eastern Europe.
I'm curious what you think about it, because now I keep hearing, these separatists, like these isolationists saying, we have no business over there in Ukraine. But I mean, Ukraine, from what I understand, is a part of NATO, and one of the clauses in NATO is that you must come to the defense. The allies must come to the defense of one of the partners of NATO. So it's just like, I mean, do you think that we have an obligation? Now, I'm one who, this is, I kind of consider myself on the left a little bit, and I understand the importance of having allies, but I got to tell you, man, we just got out of Afghanistan for 20 years, $2 trillion, and, countless lives. I kind of want a honeymoon. I don't want to go right back into another quagmire. So what's your opinion on it? Do you think we have any obligation to defend them? And to what extent?
That's a really tough discussion, because whenever you say, oh no, we shouldn't, someone always says, well, what about the people who live there, the people who are going to be under the Russian rule? This is kind of the problem with our current alliance system, and it heavily mirrors the start of World War I, where everyone was friends with a different country. So then when one country beefed with another country, then everyone had to go and join this rumble. And that's kind of what we're looking at with Ukraine being poised to be invaded by Russia, and the U.S. sending troops with tensions heating up. China, who we're not really focusing on right now, is poising themselves to take over Taiwan.
Yeah,
as they believe that Taiwan is a province that's going under a rebellion right now, not its own country.
Yeah. No.
And if the U.S. wants to stop Russia from doing Ukraine and do nothing for the Taiwanese people who would be stomped by China, number one, it'd send a really bad message that shows that China's untouchable and can do whatever they want, because number one superpower in the world is not going to do anything. But there's also, you have this kind of pact right now in that area of the world between Russia, China, and North Korea, where if you mess with one of them, you're going to mess with all three of them. And North Korea flexes this to no end. North Korea loves to push the buttons of the South Korean government under threat of oh yeah, my brother in Russia will nuke you. So it happens a lot. Hey, Sage Elias, thanks for coming on by, man. Yeah, dude, I miss you too. Let's go on Discord later. So with that, I do think yeah, we should be able to go in there and not I wouldn't want to have any, we wouldn't be on the offense. It would be a defensive thing for the Ukraine. But if we do that, we have to be able to do stuff for the Taiwanese people as well. If it was a video game, I'd send in a Black Ops team where it's completely off the books, Black Ops unit. But how long can that stay fully suppressed? And also if the U.S. doesn't say anything outwardly, then it makes the U.S. look bad, and then it makes China going oh, okay, annexing this country, annexing this country, annexing this country, because no one's going to stop them.
Well, yeah, and then basically we have Nazi Germany all over again, pretty much.
Yeah, no, exactly, so, but from a different area of the world.
Well, right, and I agree with you, man. I think maybe we should just look at this more so. The U.S. should play more of an adversarial role. Not necessarily put combat boots on the ground or in combat with the Russia, but more so just kind of helping our allies out with this. Because you know how we do war, man. We don't do it quick and simple. We don't have a plan. We stay in it for decades. So.
Yeah,
bro, this has been a very productive This is what I was trying to get on here and
dude.
do.
Yeah,
with somebody.
I try to do this too because people want to watch this. Like I love doing this. You know, that's actually.
Bro.
So this is my YouTube channel. It's a Political Zoo, and this is my Discord. I
didn't believe you. You really got a little. I'll check it out. Definitely. I'm always looking for arguments and stuff. I'm always
absolutely
looking
and this is my
stuff.
Discord. So I stream under the VOP USA Radio Network. And like I genuinely think if you wanted to come on the show again to do a one-on-one interview, or if you wanted to like come with me on like panels or do other stuff with other people involved in our channel, our network, excuse me, I feel like you'd be a really good fit for this network just by like how you talk and how you do stuff. So if you're interested in that, just holler at me on Discord and I'll bug you sometime. We can hang out. And I got a couple of VOP servers, and I got the Political Zoo server as well that we can hang out in. But like, yeah, we've been having a sick conversation, man. This is hype.
I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I'll look at this, man. I'll hit you up, bro. I love having conversations.
Dude, yeah, no, this is sick, man. This is what I love to hear.
Hey, man, well, take care.
You
have
do
a
the
good
same,
conversation with someone else, man.
Thanks, bro. You have a good night.
Take care.
Dude, the Ukraine stuff, that's crazy. Hey, what's going on, my man? Insta froze. Yeah, the Ukraine stuff is no joke. Hopefully we can talk about that a little bit more with someone else too.
Yeah, Skip, he's a Patriots fan.
Oh, am I gonna get DMCA'd? I might get DMCA'd if I play that. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm currently live streaming a podcast. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just chilling. My name's Ganny. I host a podcast called The Political Zoo. I'm currently streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and a couple other Facebook pages. I'm cruising on some political tabs on Omegle and seeing if I can get some fun conversations with people. So we met under the Trump tag. What do you think about our 45th president?
I'm sorry. I'm not a great guest for this. I'm Canadian.
No, I was going to talk to you about Ottawa. Climate change?
Mm-hmm.
I love climate change. Melt those icebergs.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is
What's
going on?
How you doing, man?
What's your stance on climate change?
My stance on I was just talking about it with somebody else.
What's your stance? Don't really elaborate, because all I need is like just one opinion, and I know whether to skip or not.
So I stand nuclear energy. Nuclear energy could replace all fossil fuels.
No. What's your stance on the idea that the Earth is what they call heating, or it's warming? So okay, what's your stance on global warming? That's what I should have asked.
So like, I mean, the climate is destabilizing, not at a rate or at an extreme that a lot of people are touting it to be, but I do feel like it is something that's happening, and within 3 generations, if we do not do anything about this plastic waste, our kids are going to be infertile.
Yeah.
So like there's aw, come on, man. How's it going?
I'm good, yeah.
I'm doing just fine, man. Just letting you know I am live streaming a podcast right now. So if you're not comfortable being live, feel free to click away.
You doing a live podcast right now?
Yeah, I am.
Have you seen Kyle?
What?
Have you seen Kyle?
No, I can't hear you that well. I'm sorry, my man.
You haven't seen Kyle?
No, I don't think so, no. I can't hear him. I don't know if he's trying to bait me or whatever. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi, so I'm currently live streaming a podcast right now. So if you're not comfortable being on the air, feel free to click away, okay?
Okay.
Sweet. So my name's Ganny. I host a show called The Political Zoo, and I browse a bunch of political tags on Omegle and look for fun conversations with fun people online. We met under the Trump tag. What is your stance on the 45th president?
You want me to be honest?
Go for it.
On here because when
trolling?
I was on the regular one, there wasn't a lot of really cool people to talk to. So
I get
usually
you,
when you post like a political person on, that's when people will talk and not just flash. So
okay, I can't do that or I'll get banned. So
hold on, let me check something.
Sure thing.
Okay, so What was the question?
What do you think about Trump?
I think he's done some good things. He's done a lot of better things than Biden right now. I mean,
I definitely agree. It's a lot of money to fill up my gas tank right now.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's definitely like not the best, but then again, I mean, no one's really the best right now.
Yeah,
I
true.
definitely will say that I did vote for him. I've come from like a conservative family. I have a lot of I have liberal views, but it's just like the way that they handle the economy. I was kind of, my parents kind of gave me like the fear factor of like how bad socialism will be, which is what I think was what kind of scared me away. And I'm like a business major student. And so I'm like learning about like
So you said you have liberal views. What are some of the liberal views that you have that would counteract like a conservative household like yours?
Well, I'd say the biggest one would be I'm more pro-choice than pro-life.
Okay.
And still trying to think. I mean, that's like the biggest one.
Okay, I get you.
I'm not really that very like educated. I'm still learning. I'm a college student and I'm trying to like find my own way. There's things that like I feel like, yeah, you know, the liberals will say that they're for, but then it's kind of like what's the word I'm trying to say?
I am not sure.
Well, okay, they're really big on like LGBT rights, and they're like they say they're against like racism, and they like will preach like Black Lives Matter, but that in organization is very like there's a lot of like dark stuff in there that I feel like, well, not like dark, but it's just like it's not, they're not really for the people. And that's what I think that a lot of like government is like about. They're never really for the people. They're just for power, which is why I really don't like to put myself with any type of organization, because at the end of the day, it's just about power.
Absolutely. No, it does. And that's why like a lot of people, and myself included, are against the organization of Black Lives Matter. Do Black Lives Matter? Absolutely. Are Black people in this country not treated as well as white people in a lot of situations? Yeah. Should we work to better the lives of all Americans while also focusing on African Americans? Yeah, totally. I'm all for everyone living better lives and being happy and everyone having more money in their pocket and living easier.
The organization is just like,
but like, when someone takes donations for an organization that says we are the head of making sure that Black Americans are taken care of, and then buying a $1.2 million house.
That's like
that shows it's disingenuous to me.
I think that was what it was. It's very like ingenuine. Like I said, it's about money and it's about power, and they use situations to like hide everything that they do that's bad. But you know,
I've been there. I'm born and raised Catholic, and like when I see some stuff that the church does or stuff that the Pope says, like there's times I'm like, like what are you doing? You know what I mean? But like I don't have to 100% agree with it, but like, you know, it does show me that it's like, hey, there are times when these people in power aren't like actually looking out for what's important.
None of them really are though.
Absolutely. I know. And that's what sucks. There's an anonymous politician in the bunch.
And it's only like getting worse, you know? It's never going to be, I don't think that there's really any like group, even like people like supporting LGBTQ communities and organizations. Like I feel like they're using that as just a way to try to gain more popularity. Like I actually I'm bisexual.
Okay.
So I'm all about like gay rights and stuff because I'm a
Mhm.
part of that, and I hate the discrimination that they're experiencing. But at the same time, it's like groups are using the organization to, get more votes and stuff. And I hate that. It's like you're just using us as like bait or something. Not really bait, but like
No, I would say bait. Like with how
bait, yeah.
like how every company in June slaps a rainbow flag on their profile picture.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
never talks about
immediately,
everything again. Yeah.
like,
And I so like as a Christian, I don't support the LGBT, but I jump on hypocrisy with anybody, like anybody screwing over any group. So like that's something where it's like if you're really gonna support like a group of people, support that group of people.
yeah, it's like even like during Pride Month, they
Mhm.
will. All of these organizations will put like how supported they are, and they'll put all of the flags and stuff. But
Yep.
immediately after that month is done, it's like, all
Mhm.
right, no, we're done with that. It's
Absolutely.
just like you're not really supporting. You're just
No, of
trying
course.
to use
Of
the group.
course. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Very, very good, insightful points. Definitely people like in my chat like 100% agree with that. That's awesome. I am currently running out of time. I only have 20 minutes left on my show tonight, so I'm just going to bounce to somebody else just to get as many people as I can to wrap things up. Have a great night. Thanks for coming on my show.
You
This
too.
is my show right here, Political Zoo. I stream to YouTube. You can see all my VODs. You can clip this and say you're on a podcast that was viewed by maybe 12 people. So that's
Yeah.
sick.
All right.
Have a
Well,
good
thank
one.
you
Thanks for coming
having
on.
me on. Bye.
Bye. She was nice. I like talking to her. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? You're live on the air right now. Oh, that usually gets a reaction. Good at them for being like still.
Do you like that in me?
Hey, how's it going?
So
Yeah, they looked not over the age of 18.
Hello?
Hello?
hello.
McSqueak. We both like the Ukraine. Oh, God. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi, I'm currently live streaming right now, just letting you know.
Uh-huh. Bye. You're like 30. No, I want to see do you support Trump?
Close. Hmm?
Do you support Trump?
I voted for him in the past 2 elections.
Good.
That's right. You're like 30. That's funny.
It was good.
The abyss. Hey, what's going on, my man? I think I ran into him once before. Ukraine?
Yes.
I'm talking about the politics of Ukraine. Are you just looking for some Ukrainian girls?
Yes, I am Ukraine in Ukraine.
Oh, you're in the Ukraine
Yeah.
right now?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about like what's going on over there with like Russia? I'm currently live streaming, by the way. If you're not comfortable being live, just let me know. But I have a podcast that I do every weekend. So if you're willing to tell me a little bit more about
I don't understand
Okay, sorry.
English. I have a little bit English.
I'll be slow.
Yes.
I am doing a live show right now.
What?
Streaming. TV.
Yeah. Yes.
But not
yes.
TV.
Yes. You stream in TV.
Yeah.
Right now.
This is my channel on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, I visit it now.
Visit
Sure
it,
thing,
please.
man.
Okay, wait. Hey, politics.
Hey, Garlic Goblin with the truth bombs in chat. Yeah, no, there's a lot of groups I can definitely say are in that category of people that just perpetuate issues for cash.
This your channel? Wait, your channel?
Move over a little bit. Yep, that's me.
I will subscribe you.
Thank you, man. Yep, that's me.
That's
Hey, I heard myself. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah. So
I will like your video.
Thank you.
Okay. We support it.
Thank you. So
what's your concept in YouTube?
What's my what?
Concept in YouTube.
So I go out on Omegle and I talk to people about politics.
Yes, nice.
And I'm
Yes.
on Ukraine to learn more about the Russian invasion coming in.
Yes.
So are you guys directly affected by that?
Hi guys, thank
Oh,
you.
sorry, man. Russia, bad.
Yes.
How are you affected by that?
زعما شنو كاين في راشد دابا حاليا؟ لا شنو واقع؟ The army in the حدود. That's it. We
Are they
in the...
are they close to you?
No.
Okay.
We have nothing this time, but tomorrow or warning داكشي ديال careful like this. اش نقول لك؟ ما عندنا والو. We have nothing.
Okay. All right.
I
I
think,
wish you
bro.
guys the best of luck. I hope you're
Thank
all
you.
safe
Thank
throughout
you.
that.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thank you.
subscribing. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Okay.
I wish I knew how to speak other languages like that. Hey, how's it going?
How is it going?
Oh, you look not old enough to be on a live stream. How you doing?
Good and you?
I'm just chilling. You don't look like you're over 18.
No.
Bye. Hello.
I'll text him later.
Yeah, definitely not. What's going on, my man?
Patriot. What the fuck?
Yeah. You're gonna get me DMCA'd, bro. Turn the music.
Thanks.
You're gonna get me DMCA'd. Hey, you like politics?
My boy D or something.
Yep.
I do too. Oh, goodness gracious. We're going strong. Hey, how's it going, my man?
How's it going?
It's going
Have you
well.
seen my man D by any chance? He's been
D?
around here. D, yes, his name's D.
No.
So you haven't seen D's nuts?
I have not seen. Damn, dude, I'm live streaming right now. You can't get me like that in front of chat. I can't show gore, dude. You absolutely assassinated me on stream. I can't show that, bro. You're gonna get me demonetized.
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
So you are you just trolling on the politics tab, or do you have anything that you debate people on over here?
Well, so far I've had people try to chat about racism, and then they've just completely been racist. So I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, all right. In like what way? Like describe a typical interaction.
It's literally just throwing fucking N bombs and
yeah, it's not cool. I had one guy try to say like the N word on stream earlier because I said I was live streaming, and he's like, "Oh, so I could say nit," and I was able to like duck out before he could say anything because that's not cool.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's
not great.
interesting.
It is interesting out here.
But yeah, anyway, have a good one, man.
Thanks, man. You do the same. Subscribe to Political Zoo on YouTube.
I will look it up.
Thanks, man. Love to see it. Gotta advertise.
Yo,
sick keyboard. My YouTube channel that I'm currently streaming to.
Yo, bet I'll go subscribe to you right now.
Yo, that's hype. With that sick keyboard too.
Yeah, bro. So
love it.
What's your YouTube?
Political Zoo. Uh-oh.
Space Zoo?
Yes.
Oh, I see you.
Hey, let's go. Haven't been banned yet, baby.
I like the stream.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Subscribe, post noties.
Yo,
say
that's
hi,
hype.
Say hi real quick.
Right. Say hi in the chat.
Just did, man.
I interact with chat.
All right, man. So what's up?
Hey, thanks, my man.
You know what? I got you real quick.
Oh shit, what's going on? Hey, yo, cool flags. We like to see it.
Oh, I probably can't show that on YouTube. Never mind. I got you, bro. Let's go pull up the Armor Light 15.
Oh, really nice. That's sick.
Yeah.
So I assume you're very like you're probably on the right, support the Second Amendment and stuff like that.
Of course, I'll show you this part. I'm not gonna show the whole
Go
thing. I
for it.
got you. That's
Ooh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What's something that's like really hitting you close to home as far as like politics go? Like, I mean, you're probably in a pretty like conservative state when it comes to weapons, but like, what's something that like this administration's doing that's just really getting your goat? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I live in Texas. Guns, huge thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's just like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm. To quote our president, "Come on, man."
30, yeah, bro. I got a 30-round clip magazine. Yeah,
That's pretty hype. That's pretty hype.
But yeah, that's about it, really.
Absolutely. Hey, what's going on, Abdel? Yeah, no, that's hype, my man. That's hype.
Yeah.
Love everything. I'm gonna move on to my next guest. You have a great night, brother.
You too, brother.
Peace out. Love to see it. We love to see it. Another armored citizen.
That's the only way to
What's going on?
Oh, you're very sexy. Look at you.
Thank you very much. I had to look good for my stream, so.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, damn! You hurt my feelings,
so
bro. What's that about?
You're interested in Biden. Is this true?
So I'm currently live streaming a political podcast right now. My name's Ganny, and I have a show called The Political Zoo over on YouTube. And this is me going out and getting some people to talk politics with. So I'm on a bunch of different political tags, trying to have some good conversations.
So hang on, wait. You're on Omegle and you're streaming?
Correct. Yep.
No.
All right. What's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm currently live on the air right now, so if you guys aren't comfortable being live streamed, just let me know and you can leave. All right.
What's awesome, man? What's happening?
Nothing much, man. I have a political podcast where I go on a bunch of politics tabs and I just talk to random people about political issues. How's it going?
Oh, is this on a fucking podcast? Lila,
It is a podcast. I'm currently live right now.
Oh,
you got it down.
Wait, okay, wait. What are you talking about right now?
I talk about politics, and it's usually up to the guest.
All right. Hold on. Wait. Here's a topic. I don't know. Why are people still talking about the election that like happened?
I haven't heard anything about the election. My biggest things that I've been. Are you over the age of 18? Can you vote?
Not really, but my parents just keep talking about it.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, I love your backdrop.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, but you a Patriots fan, so I mean.
Hey, dude, Super Bowl weekend. I gotta rep my team this weekend. You know.
I'm just fucking with you, bro.
Thanks.
So, what you doing, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, dude. So I'm currently live streaming right now. I got a political podcast I do on Saturday nights, and I go on Omegle, the different politics tabs.
Real quick, I was about to say a really dumb joke, but I'm not going to say it since you're streaming. I'm just going to say
appreciate it. Thank you. I don't want to get banned, man. I stream to a bunch of platforms. I don't need to get auto banned.
I want to do that to you. So you like my flag? It's my pride flag.
I'm sorry?
You like my pride flag?
Where is it?
Right there.
Yeah. Is
it's
that
the Chad flag.
Oh, yeah, sure it is. Looking more like the soy jack from where I'm sitting, but you know.
That's me. What's up? What's up, bro? You trying to throw down?
Look at this actual kid. He's
up,
sitting there. He's like the meme.
Bro,
dude, I would kill to be on like a national wide stage and do political commentary, so that way I can like actually like pose like soy jacks at people to make fun of them. Just like point at them like, yeah, that's you.
That's you. Be bad.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
Feel bad about it. Feel bad about it.
Your opinions cringe.
No, I'm gonna leave you though, like, cause I ain't got no political stuff to talk about, so I'll let you go talk to other people that actually have.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Have a good night, man.
You too.
It's cool. What's happening, brother? He froze on me last time. Hello. Swanky pad you got there. Next big jobber. Yeah, some people can't debate live. It's tough to get people like on their toes. You know what I mean? It's like a skill you have to cultivate.
Hello?
What's up, man?
Hey. I think I've talked to you before.
Have you?
Yeah, I think you're that guy that has like a show or something.
I do have a show. Yep, I'm streaming Political Zoo right now.
Nice. I had to get my charger.
You might what?
I just had to get my charger.
Copy that.
All right, we're good.
Sweet. What's happening, my man?
Nothing. What have you been talking about tonight?
Oh, I didn't recognize you with the hat on.
Yeah, I also sitting in a different like setting. I think it was over there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I recognize you. Talked a little bit about the Canadian convoy thing. We talked a little bit about Ukraine right now and how it looks like tensions are mounting toward a possible World War III. I honestly feel like Russia's kind of putting on a big show so that way China can swoop in and pick up Taiwan.
Do you think America should get involved?
Like, it's one of those really tough decisions where on one side you can say the US needs to get involved to help innocent lives because that's what good people do. And we're America, we're good guys. And then on the other end you have, so are the lives of our soldiers worth more than the civilians over in Ukraine? I mean, worth less than the people in Ukraine?
Are Ukraine part of NATO?
Yes.
They are.
US pulled out of NATO, right?
Who? The US?
Didn't the US pull out of NATO? I believe Trump pulled the US out of NATO. let me double check that real quick.
Or did he pull, I think he pulled out of something else. I think was it NATO? I think it might have been NATO. No, but Biden rejoined. I think that was.
Oh yeah, I probably did. So yeah, it probably is the United States problem again then.
Yeah, so like I think like ideally if the US wasn't part of NATO or like if NATO didn't exist, I don't think the US should get involved in any war that doesn't like involve them. But like since they agreed to NATO, I guess they kind of have like a duty to get involved. Like they have like an obligation.
Yeah, but you have that whole alliance system, and that's how World War I started, and I don't want to have a similar situation with World War III.
Right.
This time and I do have someone in chat who brought up a super good point. Garlic Goblin, always out here making sick points. War in modern times is mostly proxy wars for geopolitical interests, which is very true. And a lot of people don't like going into direct war conflicts with their countries. I feel like in today's kind of attitude, like political attitude, there's this thought of I'm above fighting another country straight up. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
And like I don't think countries are going to want to return to that, especially since the nuclear option is on the table.
Right.
Now, nuclear option is literally like if any country pulls a nuke out, then the entire world is gone.
Yeah.
Because in the time it takes for nukes to hit the US are going to retaliate and destroy the other half of the world.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like, the question comes down to if we don't let if we don't let Ukraine have any support here and just let them go on their own, they'll get conquered, or like I don't want to say conquered, but they'll be taken over.
Oh, they very well might be conquered. It might be legit like an annexing of a property for Russia.
Yeah. So, but like that's the thing. If Russia like goes and be like, okay, I'm gonna nuke like Ukraine, then should like America step in? Like because then if America nukes Russia, then it's like
so yeah. The nuclear option is definitely not as far as weapons. Because I stand nuclear power. So when I say nuclear, I'm usually talking about power. Nuclear weapons are usually never brought up under the pretense of it will destroy the entire world. Because once one nuke goes, every nuke goes.
Wait, what do you mean by like nuclear power? Like, what do you mean by that?
As in, instead of like CO2 and carbon emissions and hydropower, like nuclear power plants.
Okay, I was thinking power in a different sense.
Not as in like power as in I have a nuke, don't mess with me. I'm talking about like nuclear power as in like nuclear generators and like electric cars through nuclear power. Like that's definitely what I'm all about. So yeah, Yeah, it's something that I hope doesn't escalate into another full conflict, but we never know, especially with our current leadership.
If we just let Ukraine, because right now I think all Russia said that they wanted is that part of what is it? Like I don't know how to pronounce it, like Crimea or something, a little part of land.
Yeah, they took Crimea, or they either attempted or fully took Crimea way back, like I think in like 2014, I want to say, like nearly 10 years ago. Because I remember talking about that in high school.
Right. I think that's all that Putin wants back, or at least that's all he said publicly.
Yeah, because that's Russia does not have a warm water port unless it's in Crimea.
Right.
Which is like who they think they have access to.
If we just let Russia do that, then we would have to trust Russia in them saying like we only let them take that and nothing else.
Yeah, which trust Russia. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a gas. Trust Russia to do something. Absolutely, yeah. No, that's definitely
that's a good point. How it's always like proxy wars, because I think a lot of the wars or a lot of the wars we're fighting today are just kind of like defenses. Like we're just going in and defending someone or defending, like mostly just defending something or something, someone or something. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's usually a morality war instead of like a property kind of war or a resource kind of war. I mean, because ever since 9/11 too.
I think the closest thing we have to like two, I don't want to say countries, two places declaring war on each other would be like that Palestine-Israel kind of conflict. That's kind of like
yeah, but that's a whole nother topic. And
that's like that's all religious stuff.
Yeah, there's religious stuff. There's all kinds of like just back and forth and stuff. And I do not have time to go over that. I am a little bit over my time slot as it is right now, so I'm definitely not.
That's a good question. If I had to leave you on a question, I would be like, when would be the last time two countries declared war on each other? I don't know when it would be.
You can Google that. When is the last time two countries declared war on each other? Straight to Google. And no, I'm not going to screen share this because I have like 8 typos. Congress approved its last formal declaration of war during World War II. So the U.S. hasn't declared war officially on a country since World War II.
Okay.
But yeah, the last time Congress, it's only saying
the U.S.
Yeah, it's only saying U.S.
Because I know of countries like declaring war on another country, but like I don't think a lot of the time the other country doesn't like agree to go to war. They just kind of forced into it.
Yeah, they're kind of like, okay, they declared war on us. We have to declare war just to fight back, you know?
Yeah.
Or we'd just be taking it. Yeah, that kind of a thing.
I guess that's kind of how like a lot of wars just happen. Like you could even argue that's how World War II happened, but like it's a little different.
World War I, especially because the alliance system and
sorry,
you know, like, oh, I'm friends with that guy. You're friends with this country, so we have to fight each other. Like there were countries that had no qualms with each other in like death matches because they just had to on the interest of other countries.
Right.
Yeah. No, scary stuff. Hope war doesn't happen. And I also hope you have a great night.
All right. See you, man.
Catch you later, man. Peace. We stop streaming. And it is just me. Ladies and gentlemen, no more presence in the Middle East equals Syria's loss as an ally in the region. Very possibly. That's one of the biggest issues with moving out from the Middle East is that we have interests over there that aren't going to be secured because we're not there to secure them. War is never something easy, and foreign diplomatic force is never something that's an easy thing to plan or figure out. So awesome point, Scarlet Goblin. Thanks for coming to watch again. Always appreciate you in the comment section. Why Russia will stand their ground. Yeah, they're territorial about Ukraine, and Russia knows as long as it's allied with China, there's nothing the U.S. can do about it. Like China knows it doesn't have to be the good guy because there's nothing that anyone else in the world can do to stop China from doing what they can do other than the U.S. U.S. has the morality. The U.S. sees themselves as good guys, and they act like good guys most of the time. So it's one of those things where like China wins its endgame with the active genocides and terrible stuff that's going on. But absolutely. So it is currently midnight over here on the East Coast. I just want to give a huge shout out to chat and thank you for everyone coming by tonight. Really appreciate coming on, listen to me rant about political views and ideologies for a couple hours on a Saturday night. If you want to support the show, you can head on over to Twitter and Instagram at Political Zoo WJD over on Twitter as well as Instagram. I also have a Patreon over at Political Zoo if you want to monetarily contribute to the channel. No one has to, but if you're feeling inclined, feel free to go for it. I currently do have a Political Zoo Discord server if anyone wants to come in there and hang out, either play video games with yours truly or talk about political debates. I have a ton of open channels where people can hang out and politically debate. Once the server gets big, I am going to be looking for mods. So if anybody's interested in being part of a political Discord, feel free to come hit me up at Ganny hashtag 6002. I'm going to post it in the all chat right now so everybody can get it. And this usually breaks chat because it sends it out. So yeah, that's my Discord. If anyone wants access to the current current Discord, just feel free to add me on there and just ask for the Discord link and then send it to people who are interested. I'm working on getting a bunch of other people from VOP in the server too, so we'll all be able to have a good time. Have a good night, everybody in chat. Thanks for coming and watching me for a while. Make sure you keep questioning everything. Make sure you do your own research and make sure you come back every week for another episode of The Political Zoo. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for coming on by.